Hello everyone, it's the Soulful Stitcher. So this particular video is about something new that I'm going to do. And the something new, I got my notes, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. The something new that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a group specifically for works in progress WIPs. And that's how it differs from Soulful Stitching. Soulful Stitching is a general cross stitch group where you can post starts, um, any and everything about cross stitch. In this particular group, What WIP is specifically for WIPs only. And where I got the title from, What WIP, is imagine yourself having this type of conversation. Girl, did you finish that WIP that you had the other day? Girl, what WIP? I finished that yesterday. Or, hey, did you get that WIP, that you've really been wanting to finish like a couple months back? Girl, bye. I got that WIP finished, the other day. So that's the purpose of the group, What WIP, because your response to everything should be, what WIP? I got that finished. What WIP? Oh girl, I got that done a long time ago. So that's where I got the name What WIP from. It's going to be limited. I'm only going to open it up to the first 74 people. And the reason why is because this particular group is going to be for those of us who really have the strength to really want to get WIPs finished. And we're not going to use life things as an excuse not to get things done. The reality is we're all adults. We all have responsibilities in the world. And we know that no one can force us, no one can make us. And, even if we join a SAL or whatever in a particular group, it doesn't mean that we have to finish it and yada, yada, yada. I want people to join the group who's not going to think that way. I want people to join the group who welcome the accountability, who welcome balanced stress. I want, and I know that sounds kind of crazy, balanced stress. Just hear me out. I want someone who's going to welcome balanced challenges. So I'm not creating the group with unrealistic expectations. I'm creating the group for those of us who are not going to use life as an excuse not to get things done. We're not also going to use the fact that because an admin from a group can't make us do anything as an excuse not to get things done. I want this group to be for people who really want the accountability, the interaction with other people to get WIPs finished. So, let's talk about some of the expectations for the group. So the group is only going to be opened up to 74 people, and there's going to be groups of four. And in those groups of four, you're going to send a snail mail or you're going to send an email of encouragement to the people in your group. And the reason why I chose snail mail and I chose email is because one, first of all, there may be people who are retired or, disabled at home who have the opportunity, or, an at home mom who have the privilege and the opportunity to write letters and to do snail mail. Or there may be someone in your group that's not, that doesn't have experience with technology and prefers to do snail mail. But then there are those of us who do have experience with technology, but we work. So, we really don't have the time to sit and write letters, but we do have, about 5 minutes to go ahead and shoot an email of encouragement to the people in our group. I've made this group really realistic. So if you join the group, there's no reason why you cannot do the things that are expected of you, because I did take in consideration those of us who work. So you must get 20 stitches in every WIP that you own, regardless the number. So if you have 400 WIPs, you need to get 20 stitches in them. But the cool thing is you have 1 year. Okay? So if you have 20 projects, you have 1 year. If you have 50 projects, you have 1 year. to put 20 stitches in for 2020 in every single project that you own. And that reason why is because you get your hands on it. You get to pick up that old WIP that's sitting on the shelf. And either, excuse me, it's going to give you love for it, or possibly it's going to make you want to pass it on, because that's the other thing. What's the point of us holding on to all these WIPs if we're really not going to stitch them, you know? Or if you're like me and you don't want to give your things away, then at least pull it off your WIP shelf and tuck it in a drawer or something, to where you have it if ever that time in life comes again where you have that urge. And for me, I never give things away. And the reason why I never give things away is because of two things. Me, I'm up and down. One week I will want to stitch all the Hades in the world, and then the next week I'll just want to stitch Little House Needleworks. The other thing is, I made the hugest mistake of my life. Well, not really, but cross stitching related. I was gifted a bunch of patterns a long time ago. And me being new and green, I didn't realize that a lot of designers in that pile were absolutely famous. They were the top hit of the day. And because I didn't know that, when I cleaned out my stash, I took them all and gave them to a charity shop. So as time moved on and I'm starting to hear the names of all these designers come out, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? That I literally had some of those patterns and I gave them away because I didn't know and I didn't understand. So after that point, I decided I'm never giving my stuff away. I will hold on to it. And I'm glad that I didn't, because there have been several instances and several times that have come up where I hear something, some type of sound comes up or something, and I have something to fit it, or I actually have the pattern that they're referencing, and it was in my closet or stash or whatever, and I went and got it. Why? Because my taste changed over the year. So for me, I won't give things away. What I'm going to do is, if I know that I'm not ready to stitch it and I'm really not ready to stitch it, I'm going to pull it off my WIP shelf, put it away, for later down the road. And that's the other thing I would encourage you to do to be a part of this group, is to create a WIP shelf. And a WIP shelf is a shelf of things that you know that you really want to stitch right at this moment. Okay. And the cool thing is you can rotate them in and out as your taste changes. Okay. So this particular group has absolutely nothing to do with the year of WIPs or Stitch from Stash. However, you can incorporate the things that are going to take place in this group into those, but it has nothing to do with that. I'm not a overseer of your money. The year of WIPs already has its expectations, and we're not going to load more on top of that. And again, this is exclusively for WIPs only. You cannot post new starts in here. You belong to, or not you, but we belong to several general cross-stitch groups to where you can post new starts and different things like this. This is catered specifically to WIPs. Okay? What else? I already said that the membership is going to be limited and it's going to be selective, because I want people who are going to be sincere about finishing things. I want people who are going to be sincere and are tough enough to welcome, and also tough enough to extend accountability appropriately, of course. We don't ever tolerate disrespect, and we are not the mothers and fathers of any adult. So, balance, respectful accountability. And I'm very big on meaning what you say and say what you mean, right? So if you hear all the things that I'm outlining in this group and you say, great, Melanie, this is exactly what I need. All right, let's do it, girl. Then I should not expect to hear from you down the road some basic excuse of why you can't follow through with the things that you said when you stepped up and decided to be a part of this group. Now, of course, I'm going to have to say this because we have those few, but I shouldn't have to say this. Of course, it goes without saying. If something tragic or something important happens in your life, Cross-stitching is the least of your worries. I get it. I'm just talking about those of us who make basic excuses. Well, I just got overwhelmed. Dude, it's life. We're going to get overwhelmed. So that's what I'm talking about. If we use basic excuses not to follow through, I'm calling you out. And I'm calling you out because of the fact that you were the one that stepped up and said, I get it. I understand the accountability. I get and I understand there's going to be some pressure, but I appreciate the fact that you were realistic in making the expectations. So I'm ready to do this, right? If you come up with some basic excuse, or you don't even have enough guts or respect to tell your partner that you're dropping out, I'm calling you out. And I don't care if you try to make me look like the mean girl of the cross stitch community because I'm holding you accountable. I don't, that type of thing doesn't worry me. I don't worry about what other people say. They can say what they want, but they're not going to do anything. So if you do not offer the respect, I'm calling you out. Bottom line. So what is the expectations for the actual WIPs? You need to have 3 finishes per year, and you need to have 1 final finish. That's it. No more, no less. You can do more, of course. But the expectation for this particular group, let me go over the expectations again, is that this group is about accountability. This group is about getting things finished. You cannot post new starts in this group. This group is specifically for WIPs. It'll be opened up to the first 74 people. Each of us will be put in a group of 4. If you are a snail mailer, you're more than welcome to send snail mail to the 4 people in your group. If you're an emailer, then you should be sending an email to the people in your group once a month. You can do more, of course, but the requirement is once a month. You need to put 20 stitches in every single WIP that you own within a year's time. From January 1st to December 31st of 2020, your hands should have touched every single WIP that you own. We don't take excuses. Life happens. Life happens to people who don't even cross stitch. We find a way to get over it and get through it and go on about our business. I'm going to hold you accountable, and my team is going to hold me accountable. So, of course, I wouldn't expect you to do something that I'm not going to do. So, and if you come up with some lame, basic excuse of why you can't follow through, I'm calling you out. And your requirement, or our requirement, is 3 finishes a year and 1 final finish. And the final finish does not have to be complicated. I'm one who does not know how to sew whatsoever. So my final finish might be framing, or some type of example Priscilla and Chelsea have used that's very simple for me to comprehend and do. So it does not have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be fair, presentable. You're not going to win a ribbon or anything. And then also, we will have some virtual stitch sessions. And then also I'm thinking about doing some stitch planning videos. Show you guys how I plan my stitching. So again, the group is called What WIP, because we want our response to be when people ask us about WIPs is, girl, what WIP? I finished that thing a couple weeks ago. Girl, what WIP? I finished that several days ago. Honey, I don't have that WIP anymore. I finished that. That's the aim. That's how we want to start aiming our conversation. So we have a year. It's not too bad. I think it's good. And again, it's for those of us who are strong and really, really want to rock out WIPs. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. My next video coming up is actual floss 2 video. So you'll see me wear the shirt again because I'm filming 2 videos back to back. So I look forward to seeing you guys, and have an amazing week.